This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Fun fact, this opening piece of music is from the original Dawn of the Dead. Let's get this out of the way. Edgar Wright is a freaking genius when it comes to comedy, especially visual comedy. And I'm not gonna shut up about it this entire video. The first thing he does is hit us with one joke 3 times. Shaun is gazing off into the distance. He's obviously alone. Oh, his girlfriend is here. Well, they're definitely alone. Nope, the guy they're talking about, Ed, is actually right there with them. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. The 3 of them went out together. Joke over. Nuh-uh. Liz's friends are also with them there. It gets funnier each time because you think the joke has already landed, but it's just getting warmed up.
It'd be nice if we could.
And Ed and Liz are already finishing each other's sentences.
No wonder I always bring my flatmates out, and then that only exacerbates things.
What do you mean?
Well, you guys hardly get on, do you?
No, what does exacerbate mean?
To make things worse.
Right.
Vocab lessons that sadly only Shaun heard.
Shaun, hold on.
The decision to point out foreshadowing or callbacks, always tough. How about we just take them as they come? Right now, Shaun is a doof and hasn't reached his full potential. That comes later, and believe it or not, hog lumps play a part. And here we are in our title sequence with at least one of the premises of this movie. We're all already zombies. I mean Z-words, which is why an actual Z-word outbreak doesn't actually change all that much. See what I mean? Edgar Wright's quick cuts are always amazing, but special because they're so rarely for anything important. Even more than foreshadowing or callbacks, there are identically repeated actions and dialogue throughout the movie. Next time Shaun is at the mirror, don't find yourself surprised when he closes it again.
Hey, you're dead.
Well, not yet.
Deep space probe Omega-6 due to return to Earth this weekend, unexpectedly re-entered Earth's atmosphere.
Even a British Z-word outbreak may have been America's fault. And I love that the outbreak has already started even before the movie began. Another thing Pegg and Wright did was reuse almost every character as a I'm just gonna say zombie. It's just too hard. Here's one of the first, our one-armed man who is an amputee IRL.
Yeah, I spoke to him. He's only got Emery.
Ha! Ed is Noel's dealer.
I've only got an Emery myself. How old are you? 20, 21?
17.
Rafe Spall was exactly 21 when the movie came out, and OMG, Noel is the bad guy from Jurassic World 2. I mean, lots of other stuff too, including the rest of the Cornetto trilogy, but mostly Fallen Kingdom. I pointed out the papers alluding to the outbreak, but the entire first act is just filled with hints. Every time a TV is on in the background, a rando collapsing on the sidewalk. Shaun is only giving this speech because 2 people are out sick at work, and obviously Noel and Phil both let Shaun know he's gonna have red on him.
You've got red on you. You got red on you.
And if I needed a man to play a pre-zombie zombie, I'd also look no further than Bill Nye.
I do not find it difficult to keep my work and my social life separate.
Shaun, it's Liz for you.
Even something as simple as a phone appearing from nowhere. This is the minutia that makes us love Edgar.
So you living around here?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I just bought a place, actually.
Everything about Yvonne throughout this movie is one step up from Shaun. And of course he'd be surprised that she bought since they spent years pretending to be a couple together just to rent.
Right, I'll book a restaurant. You know, the place that does all the fish.
Ha! They know what they do. And that's what separates us from the Z-words. We humans only bite inanimate objects.
Where are we going to go?
To Winchester.
Don't be stupid. They don't do food.
He definitely understands why Liz wouldn't want to go there.
You promised you'd try drinking red wine instead of beer.
Knowing what you like.
Get Four Eyes.
He's not even wearing his glasses.
What do you mean, do something?
Ooh, love the use of the door for that transition. Even the rain could create a slight delay to the spread taking off since most people would be inside for the night.
Oh. Your favourite monkey?
I mean, beyond being funny, it's just really impressive. Even though Laughter in the Rain is a love song, all of these songs would crush anyone after a breakup.
You know what we should do tomorrow? Keep drinking.
If I know Pegg and Wright, Ed is predicting the entire movie with this. So clearly this is Bloody Mary.
We'll have a Bloody Mary first thing.
This must be King Philip.
A bite of the king's head.
And if Liz is Shaun's princess, these 2 are the couple.
Couple of the little princess.
And then obviously they stagger
Stagger back here.
back for shots at the bar.
Back at the bar for shots. It's not the end of the world.
He's right, that's 2 movies away.
Oh, it's right, haven't you had your tea?
Whose head wouldn't fall off after making out for like 5 hours?
You want to live like an animal? Go live in a shed!
He will!
He's not my friend, he's a
idiots!
What's that supposed to mean?
Or does it make your life easier having someone around who's more of a loser than you are?
What's that supposed to mean?
Neither of Pete's statements was even remotely confusing.
Next time I see him, he's dead.
Also true. Even if it's just a lighting change, it's still a match cut.
Do you want anything from the shop?
Cornetto.
And a trilogy was conceived. Everything about this long take walk is almost exactly the same as the first time. Right down to him being distracted by the car and tripping on the sidewalk, to the way he rubs his neck, or even the guy out for his morning run, away from zombies. He doesn't even notice the blood because of his zombie routine. However, small change, he does go for the diet this time, probably in an effort to better himself for Liz.
You promised you'd go back to the gym.
The Hindi speakers in the audience had the movie given away. You know, the zombie part. Since he's saying the dead are coming back to life and this is not a prank. Hey, it's the guy who comes in the front door again. And this time the long take is extended all the way to his walk back home.
As an increasing number of reports of serious attacks on people who are literally being eaten alive.
Yup, you have to remember to listen to the connection between channels. Why does that have the curtain wrapped around him?
She's so drunk.
Who wouldn't be after this job? Honestly, I was a cashier, it's not that bad, but she looks miserable.
And hold it there.
I think a testament to this movie is that this is a gag that would play at an absurdist parody and totally fall flat. Without context, it even seems goofy in the trailer, but it works here first because they have no idea what's going on yet, and Occam's razor has a lot of options before Z-word. And second, this is Ed throughout the movie. He never changes.
Aren't you dead, love?
And then it finally turned into a full-blown zombie movie. Brutal. I mean, come on, character continuity. Playing with fire here with the demonetization gods, but Edgar just has to up the artistic level of the first gory scene by revealing our protagonists through it. Another main part of this movie is ironically realism, with the constant non-threat that zombies are for much of the movie. 2 zombies in the garden? Just go inside. One's inside the house? Throw stuff at it, you've got time.
Are they still out there?
Yeah.
That's a 1 of 200 poster made for Battle Royale? How does one obtain said poster? One doesn't, does one?
No, that's the second album I ever bought!
And this electro record is only out there because Pete threw it last night, so thanks, Serafinowicz.
That was the second album I ever bought!
Hero shot. Appropriate responses? Yeah, appropriate responses.
I don't want to cause a fuss.
We're coming to get you, Barbara!
Even Romero didn't get the Night of the Living Dead reference the first time through, so you'd be forgiven if you didn't.
She dumped you.
I have to know if she's all right.
Why?
Because I love her.
All right, gay.
Fellas, is it gay?
Grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Back at the bar for Shaun's. How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Both are fine. I just, do we eat the gold?
Any zombies out there? Don't say that. What? The Z word. Don't say it.
This is why I was trying not to say it, by the way. The best ones don't even bother with the word. Aha, there's mirror reveal number 2. Is the idea here that Pete died while turning up the hot water and burned himself in the shower? That's why one of the sides of his body is all red? Now he's dead. And yes, that's counting 2 wins for the same win, but guess who deserves it? Edgar Wright.
You're dead.
Everyone is reaching for brains, but the shopkeep is holding out his hand because Shaun owes him
15p.
So the Blu-ray has 4 commentary tracks, and one of them is just Penelope Wilton, who plays Barbara, and Bill Nye. And honestly, it's mostly just like watching the movie with them, but listen to this level of enthusiasm from Bill.
Oh dear, that body going up and down.
That's very scary. That's horrible.
Hello?
He's gonna be dead either way.
Ed, that's not the point.
Oh, thank God for that.
Optimism. Fun fact, Nick Frost thought it would be funny for Ed to have a chunk of hair missing, so he did it, like a bet he lost in a night of drinking. And that's not the only thing he shaved to add to his method acting, if you noticed how often he's scratching.
Red on you.
You've got red on you.
That's the 4th person to be so conscientious about what color Shaun has on him. The things you take for granted in long Steadicam shots like this, where directly after the whip pan, Shaun pushes his cricket bat into frame, pulling focus.
I'm quite all right, Barbara. I ran it under a cold tap.
Medical lessons. You can hear Ed spinning out in the background.
Philip is my husband and has been for the last 7.
Where's the car?
I pranged it.
Prang! There's a CinemaWins British Word of the Week.
You like another tissue!
Thoughtfulness. And this is all mostly played for a laugh, but Shaun is continually putting himself in danger to protect his family and friends, even his ex-girlfriend and her friends. You don't even notice a hero is being born before your eyes.
And they'll tear us to pieces, and that is really going to exacerbate things for all of us.
Putting that vocab lesson to good use.
Philip, you don't have to explain.
No, I do. I always loved you, Shaun. Just take care of your mum.
And leave it to Edgar to sneak a genuinely moving and transformative moment into his silly zombie horror movie parody. Hey, it's the pizza delivery guy. Somebody's getting a free pizza.
Mum, it's Philip. He's gone.
Where's he gone?
He went next door, just like Mike's rabbit.
Man, you loved in that car, now nothing!
Some zombies crave brains, some desire silence.
Do you have any idea where we're actually going?
David, come on.
Sorry.
Do you then?
One of my favorite parts of this movie is the nuanced relationship between Liz and Shaun. She didn't just stop loving him because they broke up, and she sticks up for him and protects him no matter what. Like there's no real arc to get there, that's just how they are. There he is.
Surrounded by women.
This is my boyfriend, Declan.
Wait, so in the mirror universe, she's the lead of Yvonne of the Dead?
My mom.
Okay, so first she's lying to her landlady with Tim, and now she's lying to Tim with her landlady?
Right, well, good luck!
That delivery. I know they're all doppelgangers, but the Maggie and Diane hi is so perfect.
Hi.
But ooh, feel that chill between Don and Tim? Things clearly didn't work out. There are so many British shows in this movie. Also, I'm more and more convinced that there are only like a few dozen British actors. Yes, you, Matt Lucas.
I'm taking a shortcut before.
It doesn't matter how many times I see it, the sheer confidence on his face. Epic.
I'm coming!
Resourcefulness.
No, that's rubbish.
Jabbing advice.
Okay, let's try, shall we? Ed.
I'll do it on the night.
True thespian. Aw, I like that the twins stay together even after death. Tires still dancing to the beat. I love that they could have probably just done this from the beginning because the zombies are so slow and weak, just like dead things with broken bones would be.
Oh, look! Hog lumps!
Ah, there it is. He's come full circle from life smacking him in the face to now reaching out and grabbing it.
How did you lose them? I just gave him the slip.
And he did, actually. There's a deleted concept comic where Shaun explains that the zombies were so slow he had to wait every few meters and he eventually hid in a dumpster until they passed.
He's not my boyfriend.
Might be a bit warm, the cooler's off. Thanks, babe.
Love.
Would anyone like a peanut?
And there you have it. Dave was right for once. Peanuts in the dark.
Do you think his master plan is going to extend to anything more than sitting and eating peanuts in the dark?
It's Frankie Wilde.
They followed me.
I thought you said you gave him a slip.
Yeah.
There's some honesty for you. Really, it's one of those times, especially in a zombie horror movie, that the person would normally keep that to themselves.
Well, who the hell put this on? Some random.
Say!
Yeah, I'll put this on. Some random. Oh, for sake.
I know you always noticed the It's on Random bit, but I bet you never noticed that even the two songs are connected. If you leave Me Now and Don't Stop Me Now.
David, kill the queen!
He tries later on. Can't hack it. Also, Queen is always a win. Even the Breakers are in time with Queen. Also, seems like both David and Mr. Kim have a hatred of parasites and a love of turning light switches on and off.
What's that on the back of a beer mat?
Yeah, it was Guinness Extra Cold.
I won't say anything.
Thanks.
See what I mean? True love.
Cock it!
Ah, now I can play all these because he wasn't actually cursing.
Cock it. Cock it.
Top left!
Oh, top left.
Reload. I'm on it!
Reload. I'm on it.
Nice shot.
Oh, nice shot.
And who says video games don't apply to real life?
It's been a funny sort of day, hasn't it?
Another crushing moment in this parody movie. And can we just give Simon Pegg a round of applause for making us feel every moment?
Don't point that gun at Barbara!
Ed, don't exacerbate things!
What does that mean?
See, Ed wasn't listening.
In a minute you'll be just another zombie! Don't say that! We're not using the Z word!
One last thing for Ed to completely misunderstand, but yeah, you can't blame him.
David, no!
David is not a pacifist, he's just a weasel.
Not staying here!
David, don't, it's suicide!
I think you should go.
More honesty. Well, I guess we had to have one just insanely brutal classic zombie death, and who better than this guy? That's some pretty serious optimism. Pretty sure his head is gone. But fortunately, she also made it after spending a few days in a tree eating his leg. I'm sure she's totes norms.
I said leave him alone!
Oh, leave him alone.
Oh, leave him alone!
He did say that. And Ed was right too.
Next time I see him, he's dead.
How many shells have we got left?
2. I suppose we could, take a few of them out if they stand in a line.
I wasn't thinking about them.
I know.
My goodness, Liz didn't want to die in the bar before, but I guess she changed her mind.
End up in that pub every night for the rest of my life like those other sad old drinking myself to death.
I don't mind being eaten. You don't want to die single, do you?
That's it. I would like to be shot.
Best joke in the film. Doesn't even cut to Ed. Smoking saves the day again. Wait, no, that's not right.
Because, you know, I was shouting at you earlier on.
It's all right. I'm sorry too.
Friendship. As we say goodbye to human Ed, let's take a brief moment to appreciate some of his best moments.
Guy. Thanks.
Yeah, boy!
Hi, Barbara.
My, how you've grown.
Yeah, you better believe it. Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Love you.
Cheers.
Also, self-sacrifice.
How you doing?
Surviving.
How you doing?
Surviving.
Glad somebody made it. Glad somebody made it.
And really, it's here that the callbacks really come to a head. The entire movie is saying, hey, we're already zombies, shambling through life with no purpose, especially this guy. Every moment that was nothing, just a simple joke between friends.
I'm sorry, Shaun.
Oh!
I'm sorry, Shaun.
Oh, God.
Becomes the emotional core of the movie. The love story between these two, like these tears and the head touch, means more than most romance movies. And surviving will no longer be good enough for you when the context is changed and you're literally fighting for your survival. The gag is thematic.
Stop doing them when you stop laughing.
I'm not laughing.
Also, Yvonne the Twin Killer, Edgar Wright zombie.
Talking about their work for the charity Zombie.
Hey, I guess there's a cure for this type of Z-wordism. Yeah, this all checks out. It was already a show.
Virus was caused by rage-infected monkeys.
So you're saying it hasn't been 2 days short of a standard month?
Can I have 2 sugars, please?
Ooh, adventurous.
Aw, and he's back to feeling like a kid.
2 sugars, is it?
I haven't had sugar in my tea since 1982.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Happy endings. Is there really a difference between Zombie Ed and Human Ed? This is pretty much what Ed wanted anyway. Games all day, hanging with his buddy, and doesn't have to clean up. I mentioned that I thought this gag came off a little goofy in the trailer, and I'll be honest here. I assumed Shaun of the Dead was going to be scary movie, but with British humor. Sorry, humor. So like Monty Python, just absurdist comedy that either works for you or it doesn't. Most of the movies that came after Scary Movie are often mind-numbingly dumb. The silly title pun, the fact that it just happened to come out around the same time as the serious remake of Dawn of the Dead, it felt like not my cup of tea. Hey, more British humor.
Tea Earl Grey, hot.
And I've never been happier to be just totally wrong. The truth is that I didn't see Shaun of the Dead until my then girlfriend Julia was like, "What? You haven't seen Hot Fuzz?" Yeah, she's cooler than me. She always has been. But after loving Hot Fuzz, I went back and found out what I was missing. And then once Scott Pilgrim hit, well, we all know where that ended up. It's such a smart, dumb movie. I talked about how it's not just that earlier dialogue is repeated later, it's that each line is given new meaning. Everything has a pre-zombie and post-zombie context. Ed tries to convince Shaun to continue his lazy, lack-of-effort life and relationship strategy by saying,
There's a brother like that, do you want to do your toasting?
It's not even remotely close to being acceptable for a date night. But when survival mode hits, the concept of a sandwich maker is a much bigger deal.
What are we going to eat?
Oysters.
There's a brother like that.
Even Ed leaving the front door open only possesses a minor potential threat,
The front door is open again!
but it means certain death once the zombies arrive. And arguably the most famous line from the movie obviously goes from the nuisance of an uncapped bleeding pen to the existential threat of an undead bleeding corpse. And the way Simon and Edgar use that motif to nail the relationships is marvelous. And even though this is one of the funniest movies of all time, the relationships are central to its appeal. As I said, Simon Pegg has a skill level that rarely gets talked about because he's so stinking funny.
I don't see the point of owning a car in London.
Nick Frost, on the other hand, might be one of the funniest people on the planet. You can tell that Edgar Wright creates an atmosphere on set that is just a big fun party. The chemistry between all the actors is always apparent. It doesn't hurt that Simon and Nick have been friends forever and that much of this story was a reflection of their real lives. Simon wrote a turn your life around story framed in a zombie apocalypse. Well, if apocalypses only last a day and then the world goes back to normal. Which, given 2020, I think we'd bounce right back. Just like Noel. The entire cast is exceptional though. There's a chemistry in this movie that is rare. And I love that many of the same actors are brought back throughout the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, and I cannot wait to talk about all the connections as we get to them. So we talked about how Ed had a real problem in this movie, and it's that he's always leaving the front door open. And if you're browsing the internet on unencrypted Wi-Fi without ExpressVPN, you're doing the same thing. If you don't know, a VPN, or virtual private network, creates an encrypted tunnel that protects your data, especially when you're on public Wi-Fi, like back when you used to go to airports, or when you're sitting outside Starbucks, since you're obviously not sitting inside right now. My favorite part about ExpressVPN is that it allows me to connect to servers in other countries and access different countries' versions of streaming services like Netflix. I mean, you can watch Rick and Morty or Star Trek Discovery on Netflix if you connect to the UK server. Even my YouTube videos are often restricted in only some countries, and you can get around that with ExpressVPN. It also keeps all your internet activity private from your internet service provider, and they've set themselves up so that they literally can't log your data. And all of that for less than $7 a month, but if you want to get 3 months for free, click my link in the description, expressvpn.com/cinemawins. It's a great help to the channel and a tool I think you'll find really useful.
What's the matter, David? I'm taking a shortcut before. What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?